Welcome to the Career Coaching and Counseling course. This is our first session, an introduction to career coaching and what a dream career is, which we want to teach people about. Why should you study career coaching? Career counseling, help with resumes and LinkedIn profiles can even become an additional source of income for you. You can earn up to $500 per month on top of your main income, depending on your desire and availability. For example, when I completed my coaching training in 2011, I became interested in coaching. As it happened, I quickly chose career coaching for myself. I liked it the most because I was already in HR at that time. I even developed a course and did most of my counseling in career coaching. Right after training, I charged $100 for a 1-hour career counseling session, and many people came to me through recommendations. Then I came up with resume improvement consultations and jokingly launched ads on Facebook. At first it was $15 and I got a ton of resumes. I raised the price to $50, still got lots of resumes, then to $100, and started getting fewer resumes. Finally, I improved both resumes and LinkedIn profiles, either one or the other, for $200. I took the jobs, people paid me, and overall it was a good income. People found jobs and wrote reviews. Then I wrote several articles about my experience and resume improvement on the Lifehacker website, and many sites reprinted them. It was reprinted a lot. There was a lot of that. This is the course website. Let me tell you a little about myself in case we haven't met. My name is Mike Pritula. I worked in recruitment for 15 years, starting with Alpha Bank, then STB TV channel, Wargaming, Preplay IDL. I consulted for PeopleForce but then focused on the Academy. For 5 years now, I've been consulting companies, training in HR, and developing the Academy. Regarding our course today on career coaching, I studied coaching while working at STB TV channel, starting my training in 2010. It was online coaching training, 41-hour sessions, and in 2011 I completed the training. While working at STB TV channel, I was actively engaged in career coaching. I started with my own employees, my HR department, and many people I coached set different goals they wanted to achieve. They achieved their goals over the next few years. Then, when I went into gaming, I focused more on coaching executives I worked with, but I still had occasional career coaching clients. And then ADS and others, that's more like personal business coaching and consulting. Now, people approach me more about entrepreneurship or HR consultations. But still, how to build a career, how to build a dream career? I know. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, when I worked at Wargaming before getting into gaming, I wrote a series of successful articles about career building. They were published on the Lifehacker website and read by millions of people. They were widely reprinted, and my colleagues suggested I write a book based on my articles called $1 Million Resume. We wrote and published this book, and it's been selling well every year since then. This was in 2016 when we wrote it, and we released it in 2017. Initially, it sold very well. We actively promoted it. Then selling books became a small business. We relaxed a bit in this direction, but the book is still regularly purchased. When I was building my career, of course, as someone who advises others, I had to show and present something myself. I can say that I've achieved a lot in my career. In general, I achieved the desired positions and income level. As an HR professional, I was earning $10,000 a month. This was my goal from the very beginning when I was a recruiter. When I was a recruiter at Alpha Bank, I learned that an HR director could earn $10,000. I had that number constantly in front of me and I worked towards it. I also had many competitions, nominations, and publications. I was even printed on a magazine cover. Some dream of being on the cover of Forbes, girls on the cover of a magazine, I don't know, maybe Cosmopolitan. For HR in their magazine Human Resource Management, I was featured there. These are my awards, these are my diplomas. Basically, in the companies I worked for, I received all sorts of awards, diplomas, prizes, bonuses. Starting with Alpha Bank, I received many bonuses and diplomas. At STB TV channel, I got bonuses twice. In gaming, I received the highest ratings for 2 years, and so on. Here's a set of my speaker badges from conferences. What else? Well, yes, these are diplomas. I have international certifications, which is interesting from a career perspective, and in work, relying on best practices. I see we have some people gathered here. If it's not too much trouble, write in the chat what you do if you're in HR. If you're in HR, what's your role? Or if you're a coach or a career counselor, well, in general, please write what you do. Those who will watch on YouTube, post in the YouTube comments. I'll read it all. I'm always interested in that. Let's get acquainted. In this course, while you're writing, I'll talk about the homework. So in this course, we have homework, and I check it pretty strictly. And a diploma is only given if all homework is done and accepted. We issue the diploma on the Accredible online platform. It integrates nicely with your LinkedIn and generally helps with your career too. This course consists of 10 sessions. It's a pretty extensive course. Today is the introduction. Then we'll explore how to identify the ideal career for a client, how to work with their imposter syndrome, how to conduct a skills and competency audit, how to develop soft skills, how to develop a strategy for finding the client's dream career, how to prepare someone for an interview, create a resume and profile, how to help plan finances, how to deal with burnout, and how to turn a client into an A player. We say client. All of these lessons are useful for you personally as well. I discovered the amazing impact of coaching when I was training in coaching myself. I actually went to study coaching to become a better leader. I was a new manager, I needed management knowledge and was recommended to study coaching. Back then, coaching style management was just emerging. I went to study diligently, 41-hour sessions once a week for 10 months, 4 times a month, and there was a lot of information, many exercises, and I applied a lot of what I studied to myself, the exercises, approaches. And after some time, I noticed that it was working, that I was setting goals, achieving them, learning something about myself. And realizing that coaching works and brings results, I fell in love with it and started applying it, then began helping others. So we teach how to use all of this for someone, for your clients or your employees, and you can apply it to yourself. That is, you can develop your own career skills and career management skills for yourself as well. Today we'll talk about why career coaching is in demand, what generally hinders career building, the benefits of career coaching. We'll study the dream career model, and you'll have a tool to assess the client's current career. Let's start with some statistics. So let's look at some interesting numbers. Many people love numbers. According to a survey conducted by the International Coach Federation, ICF, the majority of people seeking career coaching services are between 35 and 44 years old. Then comes 45, 54, and then 34. The most common reasons they seek help are either to improve work-life balance, or a desire to change careers or get a promotion, career advancement, or a higher salary. These are usually related things. Regarding the results of career coaching, clients most often report increased self-confidence, improved communication skills, and better relationships with colleagues. The demand for career coaching services is growing steadily every year, with the number of people seeking help increasing by 5%. And in the US, there are already about 10,000 career coaches with their combined annual income at $1 billion. That's the statistics. Now, I'll repeat that in this course we'll be talking about working with clients. A client for you can be any external client, that is any person who contacts you, whether paid or free, that's up to you, or an employee. Because many partners and HR business partners are expected to be able to provide career counseling to employees. This is critical for retaining talented employees in high-tech, innovative, and modern companies. Because if you're not helping people build their careers, they leave for another company. And you can use this for yourself too. Next, who is this course created for? For coaches, those who are already coaching and want to get new tools. And believe me, there will be plenty of tools here. That is, you can generally take all these tools and build a system for working with clients. Let's say ideally, a full career counseling process is about 10 sessions. You can charge $1,000 for that. This is a common practice, $100 per session. That's what beginner coaches charge. This course is suitable for consultants and HR professionals who do career counseling, or those who are, for example, in employee training and development, because understanding how careers are built is an important skill. And for those who want to build their own careers, these tools are definitely proven. They've been tested on millions of people through publications, articles, books, like the article 33 Resume Life Hacks. There are about 1,000 comments on that, and probably 100 of them are testimonials from people who improved their resumes, found jobs, or solved some other problem. That's just one article. I've published about 15 articles there. I published them some time ago. I don't publish there now. A little bit about the history of this course. I came up with it in 2012, exactly 1 year after I got my coaching diploma. I developed it for 3 months. It was a detailed elaboration. Back then, there weren't even any good resources to rely on. Although I studied a lot, trying to find an interesting model, I had to do everything from scratch. Many groups have gone through the training. I think it's not even 9, just from 2012 to 2017. There were 6 groups, I believe, and then probably a few more groups after that. I wrote the book I mentioned based on this knowledge. I recently updated this course and last year added more platforms. Today I'm going to share this tool. Testing a client's career is now doubly convenient with the platform. I'll show you why anyone needs career coaching at all. There's a great book by Tony Hsieh, Delivering Happiness. Maybe some of you have read it. In it, Tony Hsieh, the founder of Zappos, analyzes what happiness is, what people live for, what leads to their happiness, and he breaks it down into 4 main components. The things that make people happy, and finding a great job. This is an image from the book. Finding a great job is one of the most important parts of a person's life if they want to be happy. Then it's growing a company, finding a friend or partner, being healthy maybe. So I can even say from my experience that a career, if built properly, if you develop in it, if you utilize your talents, can make you happy. As a person who has worked for years, I can't say that I disliked any job I had. There were moments when it was difficult. There were some moments when I didn't like the supervisor I was assigned, but it was temporary. Some coworkers are difficult, everyone has those moments. But for the most part, I left every company I worked for with warm feelings. And now, maybe in a parallel life, I would be willing to go back to every company I worked for to work again. I mean, it was interesting there. I chose a different path, a career development path, an academy path, but I liked my career. And I would work at Alpha Bank, at TV channel STB, and in gaming again, and at prep deals and so on. What does a career give you? Again, in the same book, Delivering Happiness, Tony Hsieh mentions Martin Seligman's formula for happiness. You may have heard of him. He's one of the foremost authors of positive psychology. And there are literally only a few such people in the whole world. And he talks about how happiness is when you have in your life, first, a sense of control, meaning you feel like you are in control of what happens in your life. Second, a sense of progress. So you have a feeling that today is a little bit better than yesterday. Attachments, when you have people with whom you have good relationships, and an understanding of your vision and significance. That is, understanding that you are in this world for a reason, for something. If we look at careers, it's capable of giving all of that. If you manage your career, you will definitely have a sense of control. When you build a career, you get a sense of progress. At work, especially for adults, it is almost the main source of finding new acquaintances and building friendships. Because in kindergarten, in school, in college, we find friends in our environment with those we study with. As children, we also build relationships with people in the neighborhood we play with. For adults, there's less of this, and work becomes the main source. And work can provide a sense of vision and significance if the work is meaningful. So a career is capable of giving a person a sense of happiness. Let's move on. Life without a fulfilling career can't be balanced. There is a tool in coaching called the balance wheel, the life balance wheel. It involves the client drawing a circle, dividing it into spheres, and rating the satisfaction of each sphere. Of course, career is included here. If a client is not satisfied with their career, their life balance wheel will be unbalanced. So even if you're not career-oriented, you still need a good career. Next, here's another interesting graph. There is such a graph. It was once published depicting human life as squares. Each square represents 1 week. And I've highlighted here the period when people are working. Here we can see that we spend most of our conscious life working. That is, when we are children, we don't understand much. Then when people become adults and retire, there's also a decline. But where we are at the peak of our abilities, we tend to have some sort of career. It's part of our lives. So why not manage it well? I mean, it's strange to spend most of your life somewhere and not manage it. Next. Career is at the top of the list of advice for those between their 20s and 30s. There's a great book, very popular, by Meg Jay. She wrote the book, The Defining Decade, and summarized what is most important to people who are in their 20s to 30s. And so building a career, according to her research and experience, is one of the main focuses and one of the key pieces of advice she gives to young people. Next, here are the 5 mistakes that are hindering your career. Why aren't all people successful in their careers? Why do many fail? People make mistakes. Primarily because they don't know how careers are built. I was lucky enough to work as a recruiter, and I interviewed a lot of people at Alpha Bank. I mean, I calculated that from 2005 to 2008 for 3 years in my 6th and 7th years. And in 3 years, I filled about 500 positions as a recruiter. That's just over 10 vacancies a month. So that's 15 vacancies a month, which is the normal quota for a recruiter. But to fill one position, you conduct a lot of interviews. I mean, I conducted several thousand interviews there. I talked to a very diverse range of people and interviewed them. You really study people's careers. Then I continued interviewing people at other companies. So, having interviewed probably 10,000 people in total, I understood how people build their careers. Well, at least it's always been interesting to me. Why would someone graduate from college, start at an unknown company and become a marketing director at Google, while their classmate, who also worked for an unknown company, remained in the same position? What sets them apart? So here are the mistakes again. What's holding people back? When there's no career plan. When people don't know what they want, that's not how you build a career. All successful people in their careers, careerists, they clearly know what they want to become. You don't realize how much you need to earn over the course of your career. Yes, earnings are an important part of it all. More successful careers are built by people who want more money and know how much they want. Either you're not doing what you love, and worse, you don't even know what you love to do. You don't develop yourself, you simply don't spend time learning new things. And you don't understand what place your career holds in your life. These are the most common mistakes. There are actually a lot of myths about successful careers, and these also lead people to dead ends. People believe untrue things about careers and it hinders them. For example, I hope this myth is outdated by now. Back when I was a student, I heard that you need connections to build a career. When I started working, I had no connections. I found employment on my own and then developed myself. Without good past experience, it's impossible to find a good job. But somehow people do end up in well-known companies. And I ended up in a well-known company without any experience. Dream jobs are only for the chosen few. No, that's not true. It's for those who try. You have to be brazen to ask for a pay raise. By the way, I've always found it difficult to ask for a pay raise. I always tried to do it in writing, and successfully. You can only build a successful career in the capital or abroad. That's not necessarily true either. You need English for a successful career. English helps, but it's not a prerequisite. To be successful in your career, you should have gone for the right job right after college. That's not true either. It's never too late to start building a career. And you can't build a successful career without specialized education. But now we live in a world where higher education in general is no longer as important as real-world skills. What can you expect from this course? You'll learn to identify key issues in a client's career, or your own, get a diagnostic tool, and be able to find the ideal career for your client. You'll develop a career building plan, learn about these 8 possible typical situations, and get a coaching toolkit, as I call it, which includes 24 tools for this course. So what is career coaching? It's important to understand we call it career coaching. What is it? And it's also very useful to know the benefits of career coaching for the client, because if you want to do this for someone, you have to clearly understand what you're offering, what you're providing. Even if you're doing this for an employee, well, it's also helpful to know what the outcome of career coaching is. So let's start with a definition. Career coaching is a process of interaction between a coach and clients in which the coach explores the client's career. You know, it's similar to when you go to a therapist and they examine your health. They ask you a bunch of questions to understand why something's bothering you. Or maybe nothing is bothering you at all. For example, one day I went to see a therapist. I was running regularly, and I wanted to run even more. I went to the therapist and said, "Listen, I have a question. I want to run more. I run 3 times a week, 5, 10, 15 kilometers. I want to run even more. Is it bad for my health? Where is the limit when running becomes harmful?" My therapist gave me a very strange look. I was probably the first person to come to her not with a problem, but rather with a question. But she sent me for a bunch of tests, asked me a lot of questions, and gave me a recommendation. Similarly, a career coach conducts research and helps develop an action plan for success. That is, just as a therapist develops a treatment plan rather than writing a prescription, and that leads to recovery. Similarly, a career coach finds things that help a particular client in their career. What are the benefits of career coaching? Career coaching helps people find jobs if they're looking, grow in their current job if they're already employed, find work after college for young students, change to a new career. Sometimes people want to make a career change or even start their own business. In reality, having your own business is very much a career too. It also allows connecting the client's work to their life purpose, mission, values, and dreams, develops career management skills, and accelerates clients' growth. Those are the benefits of career coaching. And career coaching simply leads clients to more successful and higher earnings. People who don't use career coaching tend to hit a ceiling at some point. You know, that's why I started writing articles for the Lifehack website. Besides meeting the site's founder, by the way, my career coaching client is Vyacheslav Sukomlinov. With my encouragement, he even started teaching GTD courses. That was a result of our coaching. He brought me to Slava Baransky's book presentation on doubt. It was held in Kyiv. I forget the name, some co-working space, a bookstore in the center on Tolstoy Tree Square. I met Slava Baransky and learned he was one of the Lifehack site founders. I was working at STB TV channel and we agreed I'd write an article. Why did I like the Lifehack website? The name itself, what's a lifehack? It's someone who finds a shortcut to accomplish a task, and it's a community of people sharing secrets on how to achieve things better and faster in life, sports, finances, anything. And it's the same for careers. Effort alone is not enough. There are proven methods and approaches that allow faster progress. Just like in business, companies grow successfully because they find life hacks. There's even a business term called growth hacking. When I worked at Prep, we had an employee. His job title was something like growth hacker. His task was to find these business growth points. So yes, in a career, if you know these growth points, you can earn much more. I discovered this for myself, I think, working as a recruiter. As a recruiter, I was earning $600, $700, $800, barely reaching $1,000. Then I found out there are recruiters earning $2,000. I thought, how is that possible? I'm a good recruiter, I'm great at filling positions. I work at a good bank. Why am I earning $1,000 while others are earning $2,000? I kept looking for answers. Then I realized people often earn that much simply because they know how to ask for it. And when VTB Bank was trying to recruit me, I was working at Alpha Bank, it was VTB Bank poaching me, I told them. They asked what salary I wanted. My salary was $1,000. I said $2,000 and they said, okay, all right. They made me a job offer for $2,000. That's how I realized you don't just need to work hard. It's not enough to earn more. Sometimes you need to go to an interview and name the figure you want, even if it's twice what you currently have. Let's move on. So lifetime income with career coaching. If we continue this idea and do the math, people who know how to build a career can earn much more money over their lifetime, and that will lead to buying a house, an apartment, a car, vacations, investing, earlier retirement, and so on. So basically, if you calculate this skill long term, it yields huge results. It even produces great results short term. But if you calculate what it can bring over 30 to 45 years, it's a huge difference. What types of career building are there? There's an interesting table I developed as part of the course. There are people who don't develop themselves and people who do. And people who develop themselves hope to earn more. But there are also people who don't make an effort to sell themselves for more. And there are those who do make an effort to sell themselves for more. And those who earn the most are both those who develop themselves and those who know how to sell themselves for more. So the skill of self-promotion, as it's called, is very important. Many don't like it. All your competitors will dislike it because they don't know how to do it. Plus, if someone has imposter syndrome, which we'll also discuss in the course, it will feel very foreign to them. But yes, from my analysis of people's careers and the interviews I've conducted, I've realized it's a must-have skill. To present yourself as more valuable. What is the outcome of career coaching? Increasing the client's self-confidence in their own abilities. This is even supported by research from the International Coach Federation. We learned about clarifying life values, what's important to a person in life, clarifying one's own mission, understanding one's goals, and increasing one's ability to be an effective employee. Some think that careerists are people who may not be very useful or effective for the company. No, that's not true. I would even say a company that looks at things pragmatically, without emotion. On the contrary, it is interested in careerists. And I've met many executives who are looking for careerists. I remember now his name is Andre, and I might remember his last name later. I worked at the STB TV channel, and we had Starlight Sales, a sales house for television advertising that sold our ads, our sister company. And the CEO once said, "Listen, we need your help for our Starlight sales director. We need to find employees. They're searching, it's very difficult for them. Can you please help with your recruiters?" Yes, of course. And when we were talking with this Andre, whose last name just flew out of my head, it doesn't matter. Look, I need someone who wants to earn enough for a Porsche Cayenne in 1 year and wants to buy an apartment in 2 years. Just sales managers who simply want to sell or make a lot of money. I'm not interested in these people. I want people who desire the seemingly impossible for themselves. That's the kind they show me. That is, the people who are said to be willing to move mountains. Or another example, when I worked at Alpha Bank, we had Igor Lokmakov, the head of the car lending department, and I told him about candidates. He used to say, "I need people who are willing to do anything for money. I myself will do anything for money. If they tell me tomorrow, go sweep the streets, work as a janitor or clean the stables, and we'll pay you twice as much, I'll leave everything, office status, I'll go there. Money is the most important thing to me." And he built a successful auto loan business at Alpha Bank. Knowing how to manage your own career is not the result of career coaching, but improving your overall quality of life is. It's true that people who earn more can afford better healthcare, better vacations, better clothes, food, housing, cars, and so on. When is career coaching applicable? How do you know that the client is ready for this? And what phrases from the client might indicate a problem or difficulty in their career? It's important to understand that you've seen whether it's possible or impossible in this case right now. That some people, they say they'd like to earn more, but they don't want to do anything for it. By the way, I remembered one of my clients. It was some kind of crisis year, I'll remember now. I think it was 2010, it was the year when the dollar doubled again. And I was recommended to a client who was in a catastrophic situation. Her husband left her one day, I think she was on maternity leave. And there was also some issue with the apartment. So she came to me in some kind of terrible depression. She needed help finding a job, learning how to sell herself, building her life, her career, and I counseled her. We worked together for about 3 months. I charged a minimum of 100 hryvnias per session. It barely covered my travel expenses. I was driving there. We met somewhere in the city. And some tea or coffee and some change left over, so I was charging the minimum. But eventually she found a job. She improved her status. And after 6 months or a year, she contacted me and said that coaching had helped her a lot. It helps even in such difficult situations, but she was basically ready for it. She was in a situation where there were no other options. But some people don't want anything. They formally say that they kind of want something. In reality, they don't want anything. So, career coaching is applicable when a person explicitly says, "I want a new job." Or if they have constant fatigue at work and a lack of desire to come to work. Frequent stress, conflicts at work, apathy. This is when career coaching is needed. There's dissatisfaction with their income. There's a sense of burnout. Outside of work, there might be some activity that's as demanding as their job, and it's difficult to fulfill their responsibilities. These are all instances where career coaching works. Coaching readiness test. In order to work with someone, especially if it's an external client, not an employee, It's very helpful to give the person a test so they can assess themselves and you can determine if they're ready for coaching or not. Here's a set of statements with answer choices ranging from 1 to 4. This test is also available in Google Forms if you want to use it, and then we need to interpret the results. If you give a person the Google form, you'll find the answers in the link to the spreadsheet on the Answers tab, and you'll need to sum up all of that person's answers in the row so you'll see the total. And here are the interpretations. Or you can print it out for the person and let them write directly on it with a pen, and you can count it up later. You can do it either way. Now here's the important part. What does it mean to have the perfect career? Many people confuse a career with just a salary or simply climbing the corporate ladder. An ideal career, when people build it, always consists of 3 components. It must be something the person loves. You can't build a successful, outstanding career doing something you don't like. Second, it has to be something you're skilled at. Just loving something without developing your skills in it won't build a career. And it must be something you get paid for and work with as well. A successful career where you're an underpaid employee won't make you happy. 3 components. Interestingly, this model is repeated in many people's publications. For example, there's Sean Acor's book, The Happiness Advantage, and he also shows that an ideal life has these same 3 components. There's a similar model in Michael Ray's book, The Highest Goal, where the ideal career is also a set of components. So if you look, you can see this model over and over again. If we take this model as a basis, we can understand what's wrong with a person's work by looking at problems in 1 or more areas. And if you look at unsuccessful people as employees, you'll see that 1, 2, or even all 3 of these areas are lacking for them. Imagine people who do work they don't like, do it very poorly because they lack skills, and earn very little. That's a disaster. It means everything needs to change. You can assess a client's career status. It used to be a Google spreadsheet. Now it's on the HR platform. Give the person a link to sign up and take the ideal career assessment test. They just need to answer questions and then they get a report. It's a great starting point for client counseling. So when a person completes the report, they'll get an overall score and scores for each of the 3 areas: love for work, professionalism, and income. And it will also show sets of recommendations. You can complete them and check them off like in a to-do list. Here's an explanation of what the percentages mean, what they indicate about how good or bad the career is, and what's worth improving. I'd also recommend using a tool applied in business, SWOT analysis, for developing the client's career. Analysis of strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, and PEST analysis. Analyzing factors happening in the world and in the country. The fact is, you yourself feel and see what's happening in the world, in politics, economics, technology, artificial intelligence, greatly affecting our lives and our careers. So the tools most often used by businesses, SWOT analysis and PEST analysis, I now recommend applying to your clients. For those already on the course with us, I recommend setting career goals for yourself to achieve by the end of the course. Set goals in 3 areas. In terms of love for work, professionalism, and income, formulate what you'd like to achieve in these 3 months using SMART criteria. For useful materials, I can recommend the book $1 Million Resume. Here's a link to purchase it if you'd like. That's all for today. Thank you to everyone who was online with me. I invite you to take this course and learn how to manage your career for those already on the course. We'll meet again soon and continue learning. That's all. Have a great day. Bye-bye.